Good evening to our viewers watching on television and those joining us online across our social media platforms. I'm Colin Abrams with the Monday, January 26th edition of the Ghana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, Ghana's economy surged 19.3% in 2025, Finance Minister announces. U.S. indicted businessman Azruddin Mohammed elected Ghana's opposition leader. Minister McCoy blasts incompetent City Hall, accuses APNU of sabotaging Georgetown's growth. Speaker Nadir cautions new opposition leader, warns of Privileges Committee action over vile comments, and 6 charged in connection with death of Jamal Bourne. And now for the news in depth. Ghana's economy is estimated to have grown by a robust 19.3% in 2025, according to the senior minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh. The announcement was made during the presentation of the 2026 national budget, delivered under the theme, Putting People First. Alana Doric reports.
Dr. Singh reported that the country's non-oil economy expanded by 14.3%, fueled primarily by strong performance in agriculture, mining, construction, and services. He emphasized that overall real economic growth continues to be underpinned by Ghana's rapidly expanding oil and gas sector. The agriculture, forestry, and fishing sectors recorded an estimated growth of 11.5% in 2025, with gains observed across all major sub-sectors. Meanwhile, the oil and gas industry expanded by 21%, with total crude oil production reaching 261.1 million barrels for the year. Growth in the sector was driven by increased output from the Liza, Unity, and Prosperity floating production storage and offloading FPSO vessels, as well as the startup of the One Guyana FPSO in August 2025. Average crude oil production from the Stabroek block stood at just under 830,000 barrels per day. The Liza Destiny FPSO produced an average of approximately 134,300 barrels per day, while Liza Unity averaged 249,500 barrels per day. Production from the Prosperity FPSO averaged 255,200 barrels per day, and the One Guyana FPSO produced just under 191,000 barrels per day. Adana Dore, Ghana TV9 News.
A man facing federal indictments in the United States is now the official leader of the opposition in Guyana. On Monday morning, businessman Azruddin Mohammed was elected to the post unopposed just hours before the presentation of the 2026 national budget, a move that finalized a tectonic shift in Guyanese politics that began with the 2025 general elections. Adana Doric has more in this report.
Azruddin Mohammed and his father Nazar Mohammed currently face an 11-count indictment in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. The charges include wire fraud, mail fraud, and money laundering, largely stemming from gold exports via Mohammed's enterprises. Despite these legal clouds, Mohammed's rise to the opposition leader's chair was swift. The election of the leader of the opposition was conducted during a meeting convened by Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, ahead of the presentation of the 2026 national budget. The process formally establishes the leadership of the parliamentary opposition in the 13th Parliament. Following his election, the embattled opposition leader thanked his supporters, specifically highlighting voters in the indigenous communities and the diaspora who backed him despite his campaign being restricted in certain regions.
This morning, the process was very smooth. No hiccups, no delay. In less than 5 minutes, I was elected leader of the opposition, ready to serve the people of this country. I would like to thank all my supporters, the diaspora. I'd like to thank everyone for their support. We had a long fight. We made it to the end. All my supporters from Region 1, Marima, Waini, Pomeroon, Supanam, Essequibo Islands, West Embarra, Demerara, Mahaika, Barbies, East Barbies, Quarantine, Cayuni, Mazaruni, Patara, Sicaruni, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, Upper Demerara, Upper Barbies. And to my indigenous brothers, wherever you are, before the elections, when we were on the campaign trail, they restricted me to come in to see you. But I want you to know that I appreciate your votes. I never visited Region 9. I never visited Upper Mazaruni, Chinapau, etc., some of the villages. And we received half of the votes. And they never see me. So I want to thank you from all my heart for the support. I want to thank the public servants. I want to thank the diaspora. I want to thank Almighty God. I want to thank my mother and father.
While the election was straightforward, it was not without protests. Members of the A Partnership for National Unity APNU walked out of the public building before the vote took place. APNU lead parliamentarian Terence Campbell indicated that while his party did not nominate a candidate, they intend to hold onto their seats on the Ghana Elections Commission (GECOM), calling the appointment of new commissioners as constitutional issue.
There was one nomination for the position of leader of the opposition. Nominations were closed, and as we had said, there is no need for a vote, so we have left the assembly. We look forward to working with WIN, and hope that there'll be improvement in collaboration between us and WIN going forward. It has not been the best road so far, but we took the position not to nominate anyone, and we hope they see this as a signal, and we expect an improvement.
Mr. Campbell, why walk out prematurely though? The election.
We sat down and we dealt with this on Friday. We said that as long as there's one nomination, there's no need for vote.
But for the record, sorry, parliamentary.
No, we said our position on Friday. As long as there is only one nomination, there's no need for vote.
Amanda Walton Desir voted as the lone member of parliament from the Forward Ghana movement, along with the 16 We Invest in Nationhood MPs. The 12 APNU MPs left the meeting after the nomination was made. The election was carried out by a show of hands in the parliamentary chambers. Walton Desir emphasized that the procedure was conducted in accordance with parliamentary norms and outlined a legislative agenda focused on reform.
Well, we elected the leader of the opposition. Like I said last night, it was 5 minutes, and that was it. Going smooth. The process was smooth. Nominations were open. Mr. Azrin Mohammed was nominated. The nominations were closed. Apnu walked out before the vote, but the 17 remaining MPs voted affirmatively.
What are the issues you are going to be collaborating with APNU and WIN going forward?
We have an agenda that we will be rolling out in the coming days. A lot of our work will be centered on electoral reform, because I keep maintaining that irrespective of the political work that's done, if the electoral machinery remains captured, then the will of the people will always be frustrated and thwarted.
With Mohammed now officially at the helm of the opposition, the focus shifts to how the international community, and specifically the United States, will interact with Ghana's legislative branch, given the standing indictments against its leader. Adana Dorek, Ghana TV9 News.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, on Monday publicly reprimanded newly elected leader of the opposition, Azruddin Mohammed, over what he described as vile comments directed at him, warning that the matter could be referred to Parliament's Privileges Committee. Nadir said while criticism of the Speaker is allowed, it must be brought through the substantive motion in the House. He added that the comments are under review and could result in formal action. At the opening of the sitting, the Speaker also congratulated members of Parliament while reminding them of their responsibility to adhere to the Constitution, standing orders, and rules governing conduct in the National Assembly. Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, came under fire on Monday morning after independent media were barred from covering the swearing-in of the new leader of the opposition. While the clerk of the Assembly identified Speaker Manzoor Nadir as the authority behind the lockout, a subsequent release from the Parliament office defended the move, claiming that the event has historically remained closed to the general public and private media. Here's more.
Reporters seeking to cover the proceedings were informed at the gates they would not be permitted on the compound. When questioned on the sudden restriction, Clerk of the National Assembly, Charlotte Isaacs, initially claimed he was unable to provide a reason. Under repeated questioning, Isaacs admitted the directive came from, quote, above his office, specifically naming the Speaker of the National Assembly. However, he noted that even he was not given a formal justification for the lockout.
I can't say.
You can't say?
No.
The instructions you got when I called you and asked you whether we were still not allowed even into the hallway or even in the chamber. That instruction still stands?
Yeah.
Why is that, sir? You don't have no idea?
No, I can't.
The host has invited NCN to be part of this meeting. To do what exactly?
I can't say. I was told that this EPI would cover the election of the leader of the opposition.
And why not the rest of the media if it's open to DPI or the state apparatus?
I cannot say much.
When asked if he would petition to reverse the directive, Isaacs described such a move as, quote, difficult, hinting that the instruction may have originated from an authority beyond even the speaker. Isaacs, who is expected to retire in the coming months, declined to comment on how this incident reflects on his tenure or transparency of the National Assembly. Following the backlash, the Parliament Office issued a late-day press release to, quote, clarify inaccuracies. The office maintains that the Department of Public Information, DPI, holds exclusive rights to stream Assembly proceedings. Crucially, the release argued that the election of the Leader of the Opposition is an internal process for non-governmental MPs and has never been opened to the general public or the media. Despite the clarification, media stakeholders are raising concerns over inconsistent protocols and lack of advance notice. As of now, the Parliament Office has not stated whether these restrictive measures will become the new standard for future high-profile constitutional events. The Parliament Office has not indicated whether any changes to media access arrangements will be considered for future parliamentary events. Colin Abrams, TV9 News.
6 persons have been charged for failing to report the death of Jamal Bourne following an incident that drew widespread attention after a video of his final moments circulated extensively on social media. The footage, which was live-streamed and later shared online, appeared to show Bourne taking his own life. While police have not publicly commented on the contents of the video, the charges were laid under Section 39 of the Coroner's Act for failing to report an unnatural death. The accused appeared before the Linen Magistrates Court on Monday, where 5 pleaded guilty and were each fined $9,750, while a 17-year-old was discharged. The case has reignited public discussion on accountability and the legal duty to promptly report such incidents. Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh, during his 2026 budget presentation, has reported strong growth across Ghana's mining sector in 2025, led by increased output in gold and bauxite production. Dr. Singh said the gold mining industry recorded an estimated expansion of 11.6% during the year, with total gold declarations reaching 484,321 ounces. Here's more in this report.
Budget 2026 presented by Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh revealed that while declarations from licensed gold dealers declined by 21.5% to 121,833 ounces, production from the country's lone large-scale gold operator increased by 15.5% to 167.5 ounces. He further noted that declarations to the Ghana Gold Board rose significantly, increasing by 45.6% to 159,432 ounces. According to the minister, the improved declaration figures were supported by stronger compliance and enforcement measures within the sector. Significant growth was also recorded in the bauxite mining industry, which expanded by an estimated 53.4% in 2025. Production reached approximately 3.9 million tons, driven largely by increased metallurgical grade bauxite output, particularly from the MAZ project in Region 10. Output from the larger bauxite producers surged by 138.4% to nearly 3.7 million tons, while production from the smaller operator rose from 173,970 tons in 2024 to 253,875 tons in 2025. Meanwhile, other mining subsectors, which include sandstone, diamonds, and manganese, grew by an estimated 29.9% in 2025. Sand extraction increased by about 20%, and stone declarations climbed by 63.3%, reflecting strong demand from both public and private sector construction activity. Manganese production also rose by an estimated 13.5% to 331,402 tons, helping to offset an estimated 24.2% decline in diamond declarations. Ghana has intensified its crackdown on gold smuggling as part of broader efforts to protect state revenues and strengthen oversight of the mining sector. Authorities have increased enforcement operations, tightened monitoring at ports and exit, and strengthened compliance requirements for miners and dealers to ensure that gold is properly declared and sold through official channels. The government has said that these measures are aimed at curbing illicit trade, improving transparency, and ensuring that the country fully benefits from its natural resources. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
We'll be back after these short messages. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, primetime, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry GCCI's first female president, Kathy Smith, is calling on local entrepreneurs to get their house in order ahead of the 2026 launch of the government's SME Development Bank. Appearing on Starting Point Oil and Gas Edition, Smith warned that transparency and robust operational structures are no longer optional, but essential requirements for small businesses looking to secure financing and scale within Ghana's explosive economy. Faith Sandy reports.
Smith reflected on breaking a 135-year tradition of male leadership at the GCCI, crediting her success to strong family support and the groundwork laid by previous female executives. She highlighted the importance of confidence, boldness, and perseverance for women in business, encouraging them to stay in the room, pursue leadership roles, and reshape traditionally male-dominated spaces.
By extension, the private sector of Guyana. They have given me a mandate. I think I have been executing. As the first woman president, I have let women know that this role is for you. I let them know that you need to go into the room if you want to change the dynamics of business in Guyana as a female. You have to be bold, you have to be courageous, you have to stay in the room, you have to know yourself, you have to understand who you are. You will be compared to other people, you will be criticized, but that has nothing to do with you.
Under her leadership, the GCCI has advanced initiative to empower women entrepreneurs, including expanding the Micro-Learning Entrepreneurial Center, focused on agro-processing, branding, and marketing. Smith also emphasized the importance of networking, structured business practices, and fair pricing strategies for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, to access contracts and financing opportunities.
We need to create a way where women now can access contract. Somebody might say, but why it can't be across the table? Yes, it can be across the table. But the thing is we have just pulled the women them out from their comfort zone. Their comfort zone for a lot of women were employment, were at home, doing what they want to do. And we're saying to them, the opportunity is there for you because you're talented, you can get into that space. And they went into that space. We still need to guide them. So we need for them to have contract. A lot of more women need to be in technical positions in the oil sector. There is need for financing because some of them are getting the contracts, but don't have the finance to execute.
Smith stressed that the SME Development Bank could be transformative for the private sector, but businesses must be traceable, transparent, and prepared. She highlighted the need for confidence, proper invoicing, business banking, and clear identification of what a business truly sells, encouraging entrepreneurs not to undersell themselves while remaining focused on their core competencies.
For those persons who are providing a service, you have to ask yourself, how much time am I investing so that you can price? Because you know what I've realized? A good persons who want to buy your product and care about your products and services, they're not concerned necessarily about the costing of it. They're concerned as to what it can do for them.
Looking ahead, Smith aims to continue supporting women in technical roles, expanding her business, and strengthening Guyana's private sector. Her message to entrepreneurs is clear. With preparation, confidence, and boldness, both women and small businesses can thrive in the country's fast-growing economy. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
Minister McCoy has launched a blistering assault on the APNU-controlled City Council, branding Georgetown's municipal leadership a monument to decay and accusing Mayor Alfred Mentor of weaponizing incompetence to sabotage the capital's transformation.
According to the minister, Georgetown has suffered decades of administrative paralysis under APNU's leadership, which he said is characterized by inefficiency, incompetence, and political misdirection. He accused city officials, including Mayor Alfred Mentor, of engaging in contradictory public and private positions. Behavior, he said, has consistently prevented meaningful progress and undermined confidence in city management.
No doubt the city has had the negative benefit of predictable behavior from APNU leadership. Once again, for its 60th year of chokehold and strangulation of the city, Georgetown remains a victim of political sabotage and administrative paralysis. That Mayor Mentor's awkward, outdated, and retrogressive antics in respect to the management of the city renders nothing short of chronic inefficiency, gross incompetence, and the typical APNU brand of non-progressive euphoria. His calculated mischief and deliberate misdirection earn him the special dishonor of being enshrined in the Hall of Fame of the notorious mendacious characters.
McCoy pointed to what he described as clear evidence of mismanagement, including the deteriorated condition of the PNC's Festival City property, which he said reflects APNU's approach to governance. He contrasted this with the PPPC's government's intervention over the past 5 years, including road rehabilitation, drainage upgrades, street lighting, restoration of City Hall, cleaning of canals, and the development of recreational facilities, which he said were necessary to address years of neglect.
We have carried the responsibility of fixing streets, rehabilitating drainage pumps, installing streetlights, restoring City Hall, establishing and maintaining recreational parks and facilities, and even cleaning canals, alleyways, and massive garbage dumps. All the residue of APNU's negligent leadership. A glaring example of the depth of APNU's incompetence is the PNC's Festival City property, which mirrors their governance style. Dilapidated, filthy, and neglected. It stands as a monument to decay and mismanagement.
The minister called on citizens, businesses, and stakeholders to set aside political divisions and support efforts to transform Georgetown into a clean, safe, and progressive city. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to working with all stakeholders, stating that the administration remains focused on ensuring the capital reflects Guyana's wider development trajectory and national pride. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Jason Bojdat, a 33-year-old distillery plant manager at DDL and former president of the St. Stanislaus College Old Students Association, was killed late Sunday night in a violent crash at farm on the east bank of Demerara. Surveillance footage shows a speeding car slamming into the back of Bojdat's minibus, causing it to flip multiple times and strike a utility pole. Bojdat was extracted from the wreckage and rushed to a hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the speeding car survived the collision and is currently under investigation by the Ghana Police Force as they review CCTV footage from the scene. Just hours before the tragedy, Bojdat had mentioned to friends that he was still on duty at the distillery, highlighting the career-driven nature for which he was known. Over the weekend, the Ministry of Education commemorated International Day of Education 2026 under the global theme, the power of youth in co-creating education. The observance featured several initiatives aimed at empowering young people to shape the future of learning.
In her message, Minister of Education Honorable Sonia Parag stressed that young people are not simply recipients of education, but partners, innovators, and leaders whose voices must be included in decision-making. She said youth across Guyana have been speaking out on issues of safety, inclusion, creativity, and opportunity, and emphasized that the ministry has been listening.
As we observe the International Day of Education 2026, we do so under a powerful theme, the power of youth in co-creating education. This theme reminds us that young people are not simply recipients of education. They are partners, innovators, and leaders whose voices must help shape the systems designed for them. In Guyana, our youth are speaking about safety, inclusion, creativity, and opportunity. And at the Ministry of Education, we're listening.
Minister Prag highlighted that students are currently being engaged in consultations on the country's anti-bullying policy, noting that safe and respectful schools can only be achieved by including the voices of those who experience the education system daily.
That is why students are being actively engaged in consultations on our anti-bullying policy. We recognize that creating safe and respectful schools requires the voices of those who experience our education system every day. We are also investing in spaces where young people can express themselves with confidence and purpose. Through our writing camps, students are strengthening their voices, sharing their stories, and developing the critical thinking skills needed for leadership in a changing world.
The minister reaffirmed the government's commitment to meaningful youth participation in education, underscoring that when young people help shape education, they ultimately help shape the future development of Guyana. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
More trending stories on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, primetime, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
GCOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching the Ghana TV9 News Bulletin. Over the weekend, the People's Progressive Party civic government reaffirmed its long-term commitment to the Tiger Bay community, outlining a wide-ranging partnership focused on development, security, youth empowerment, and economic opportunity. Here's more.
Addressing residents and stakeholders at the commissioning of the new community facilities, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali emphasized that the administration's approach is rooted in walking side by side with communities to ensure inclusive national development. President Ali noted that the partnership with Tiger Bay is not new and forms part of a long-standing relationship that spans several decades. Ongoing initiatives were also highlighted, including education and social programs implemented in partnership with Men on Mission and Nations. The initiatives provide extra lessons and feeding programs that currently serve hundreds of children in the community. A major focus of the government's engagement is the strengthening of community security through the establishment of a community policing initiative.
We want to see and partner with the other businesses too. And this is just the beginning of a beautiful transformation and path that we're taking. You know, right now we have Men on Mission and the Guyana Defense Force cleaning up an old historic area with the old train lines and whatever is remaining there. And we will restore that. So we'll have a historic hub. There will be an industrial walkway, a cultural walkway, a heritage walkway right through your community.
President Ali highlighted direct engagement with Tiger Bay residents through his neighborhood outreach initiative, which involved visiting homes, listening to residents' concerns, and identifying practical solutions. Partnerships with members of the private sector were also acknowledged, particularly the contribution of the Matai family, who made space available for the development of a multi-use recreational facility that serves both commercial and community needs.
We want this area to be desirable and safe. Everyone must feel safe coming here. I see our city councillors. I want to thank all of them here. I see Don and the others. You guys have an enormous responsibility, even in a situation where we don't control the city council. And we don't have the numbers in the city council. At this point, the minister and our councillors, they're using our voices. After the next local government election, you must help us to use our votes so that we can accelerate the difference and we can accelerate the gains. And we're not apologetic about this. And we should not be.
The head of state called for continued unity and sustained collaboration between the government, private sector partners, and residents. Government representatives reaffirmed their commitment to long-term development in Tiger Bay, emphasizing that progress will be driven by partnership, inclusion, and community participation. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
A game changer for the Guyanese sporting landscape. This is how the Minister, the Honorable Stephen Jacobs, described the Palmyra multipurpose facility during a site visit on Saturday. Set for completion in the fourth quarter of 2026, the $3.7 billion ICC Standard Stadium is poised to transform Region 6 into a premier hub for international cricket and sports tourism, signaling a new era of economic opportunity and athletic excellence for Berbice. Here's more from Faith Sandy.
Minister Jacobs emphasized that the Palmyra facility is not a standalone project, but part of a wider national sports ecosystem being rolled out across Guyana, including the establishment of a cricket academy at Albion. He noted that these facilities are designed to provide structured pathways for athletes, allowing former national players to give back through coaching and raise the overall standards of sport from the grassroots to the international level.
And who will fall part of a wider program here, not just only in Berbice, but the entire country, We're also building out a cricket academy at Albion. And we know we have a lot of persons here in Fuan, Pumal, Bishu, and Chatakun who are from Albion, and they'll be falling part and parcel of that program as we continue to put together a sports ecosystem that will then help us to further, elevate our players, elevate our athletes, elevate our cricketers.
Highlighting the wider benefits, Minister Jacobs explained that the facility will generate significant economic spill-off for Berbice through hosting major sporting events, CPL matches, concerts, and international competitions. He pointed out that increased demand for accommodation, transportation, logistics, and services within the creative and orange economy will create new income opportunities for residents, while transforming the Palmyra area into a hub for development and activity.
When we bring these developments, it's for persons to understand the impact that it'll have on them. Secondly, when you bring a major event here also, let's say it's a concert, you will then have persons within the orange economy, persons in fashion. Then you'll also have persons in relation to designing and makeup artists and all these things will fall part of what will happen here. So everything is done, everything that the government does, it is done not in silence, has a spill-off effect.
Minister Jacobs further outlined upcoming developments for Berbice, including new transport infrastructure, expanded road networks, cultural markets, and additional sports facilities, reaffirming the government's people-centered development agenda. He stressed that with unprecedented investment, institutional support, and direct presidential backing, Guyana is entering a new era where athletes are being fully equipped to succeed on the regional and global stage. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Thank you, Faith. In tonight's regional news, police in the Chaguanas, Trinidad district have arrested a 32-year-old man following a report of rape involving an 18-year-old woman early Sunday morning. According to police, the incident reportedly occurred at about 12:30 a.m. Investigations revealed that the victim, who was under the influence of alcohol at the time, was walking along the street when she met a man who identified himself as Malcolm. She agreed to accompany him to his residence. Upon arriving at the location, the man allegedly raped her. The suspect was arrested and taken to the Jaguanas police station. Internationally, a major storm system spanning from Texas to New England has left at least 17 people dead and hundreds of thousands without power across the United States. Fatalities were reported in New York, Tennessee, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Kansas, Pennsylvania, and Texas, where victims, including a 16-year-old girl, killed in a sledding accident. The severe weather forced the closure of schools and roads nationwide, while more than 10,000 flights were canceled or delayed. Although the National Weather Service predicts snowfall will ease through Monday, central and eastern regions remain under warnings for bitterly cold temperatures. And those are major headlines. For these and more trending stories, follow us on our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GOI TV9. I'm Colin Abrams. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.